I first found this clock at my local thrift store. Let's go ahead and give it a makeover. So first things first, I just started taking all of the pieces apart, which was actually fairly easy to do. And since this did come from Goodwill, I am going to be wiping it down with some rubbing alcohol just to make sure that it is nice and clean. And since this is a very glossy surface and I'm going to be using chalk paint over this, I ended up sanding all around the clock and the smaller pieces as well. Once that was sanded down, I'm using Waverly chalk paint in the color Agave. This is a gorgeous color, by the way. And I just started painting the entire clock. I even did the small pieces that hold everything together. This did end up taking 2 coats. You want to just dry the first coat before going on to the second coat and then allow everything to completely dry. Next, I grabbed a small piece of foam board. You could get these at Dollar Tree. And then I downloaded this image off of Google. Just Google face of a clock. I went ahead and traced that right out. And then I'll be using some Mod Podge to attach the clip art to the foam board. Just put a nice coat down, make sure it is nice and even, place that picture down, smooth it out with your fingers to make sure there are no air bubbles. Let that Mod Podge dry and then cut that image out using some box cutters. I then wanted to cut the image in half, so I'm just using a ruler to make sure I have a nice straight edge, and then just use that box cutter to cut that in half. And then I just went over the image again with some more Mod Podge just to seal and protect it, and then let that dry. I then just started putting the clock back together, and once I put it together, I noticed that I missed some spots. So I just went back over it with the chalk paint just to correct those little spots. Now I'm using some brown and orange acrylic paint, and I'm going to be creating a rust effect on this clock. So first you want to grab a cut up sponge. I just got some from Dollar Tree. Start applying some orange acrylic paint, and then while that is still wet, you want to blend in the brown acrylic paint. Again, blending is key for this part. A tip is also to wet your sponge, and that'll help blend the two colors even better. Let that dry, and if you notice that some spots are just a little too dark, you just don't like how it looks, just go back over it with the chalk paint that you originally started the clock with. I ended up doing that because I felt like not enough of that agave was really showing. So easy peasy. Look at how awesome that looks. Next, I just grabbed that half piece of the face of the clock, applying it inside of the clock, and then just adding some hot glue to adhere it. And you guys, I just cannot stand this cuteness. I love it. I then just cut another piece of foam board. First, I'm just tracing the back of the clock onto the foam board. And then again, cut that out using a sharp box cutter. I did end up painting around the edge of the foam board with some black acrylic paint because I really didn't want that white to show. Go ahead and let that completely dry, and then I just hot glued it to the back of the clock. And then I just added in some faux eucalyptus inside of the clock. But you could add whatever kind of greenery or floral that you would like. But guys, this came out so amazing. I think this is a great accent piece for your home decor. I hope this inspires you to create your own in your own special way. If it did, please be sure to sprinkle the love. Thank you so, so much. And I hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.